This project is inspired by something I saw on the Kirkland's website. It is $34.99, but I make it much cheaper. Okay, I'm going to start by using elephant chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm just going to paint a piece of I was going to say scrap wood. So then I'm going to take some chalk paint from Waverly in moss. And then I'm just going to dry brush it with my chippy brush over the top. Now in the inspired piece, it was red, but I do not have red in my decor this year. I've gone with more neutral tones, greens, creams, that kind of thing. So I'm going to make this with a moss color, but of course you can make it with red. So like I said, in the inspiration piece, it was 8 inches by 24 inches, and this is much smaller. So, you know, obviously it's going to cost less, but I just was like, these little ski ornaments from Dollar Tree this year are really good. And so I'm going to use that on this. So again, just a piece of scrap wood. I started with elephant gray chalk paint, and now I'm just taking the moss chalk paint and dry brushing it on to give it that, you know, rustic look like the inspiration piece. I just kind of keep adding it. I start light because I want to make sure I don't get too much paint on. I've done that so many times, so I'm just starting with the light. And then I'm going to go to my Cricut, and I'm just going to type out Happy Holidays with a snowflake, and I will cut that out. As you can see here, here's the ornament from Dollar Tree. Super cute. Can't believe they can sell this for $1. I'm thankful. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard that Dollar Tree is going to start moving it up to $1.25. So not a huge deal unless you buy 50 things at once like maybe I do. Okay, so here again, I'm going to take my vinyl cut here from my Cricut, and I will just rub it down on here. I will glue my little skis down, and I think this sign looks a lot like the inspiration piece. Again, just that it's green. Of course, the skis are a little different, but I basically made this for a little over $1 because, of course, it's scrap wood and there's some vinyl here. So let's call it the $2-3. And we duped a $34.99 Kirkland item. Again, of course, mine's a little bit of a smaller version. And then lastly, I just glued on some of the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree to the back, and this just makes it so it can stand up on its own, which I like, so I can add to my decor. Okay, I got this wood tree here from my friend Tracy, and I am going to link her Facebook group down below, and you can get wood cutouts like this. And I'm going to paint it in moss green, and then this little ornament I'm going to paint in white. And then I'm going to take these wooden dowels from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put the antique wax stain on them. Also, the little ornament is also from my friend's store, so again, I will link that below. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a quick and easy Christmas countdown. So again, I just painted the tree in the base in Waverly chalk paint moss, and these are an antique wax and then a little white on the ornament. I'm just going to space these out. Because of the size of the ornament, I felt that if I did all 24 days, it would be a little bit too jammed. So I'm only doing 20 days. Depending on the size of what you're using to mark the days and whatnot, you can do the 24 days. Or I thought about maybe just doing 12 days. So however you want to do it. So I just went to my Cricut and I cut out the numbers for 20 days. I will link the font down below because I don't remember it off the top of my head right now. So again, I'm just going to kind of space this out, put my numbers down, and I'm going to take the wooden dowels and I'm going to glue them with the Gorilla Wood Glue. I feel like that will definitely have a better hold than hot glue. I've been trying to use that glue more if I can, because I do find that it stays longer. I will link that glue down below as well. And because it's a wooden dowel and it can kind of roll, I decided to put the glue on the tree form instead of the dowel because I had a feeling it would roll and get glue everywhere. And so again, I just go ahead and there we go. I just put a little buffalo check bow on the ornament, and as you can see, it sits just like that on the wooden dowels, and you can put it on which day it is. If you've been here a while, you know I love texture. I picked up this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I want to say it's $10, so I got it for $5. And I knew eventually I was going to do it on a pumpkin. I never got around to it, so it's going on a tree. And I was really excited to find these cones again at Dollar Tree because they hadn't been around in like a year. So I was really excited to find them again. Super simple, just gluing this around. This hardly feels like much of a DIY, but it's just, this cord is so pretty. And if you don't have a Hobby Lobby or something like that, you literally could just braid it. It's just braided cord. So if you have like some macrame cord or something like that, just braid it up. You could use Dollar Tree's, gosh, I'm blanking on what that's called. The stuff I've used on so many things, but you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, look at this was like a 3-minute project. And then I had a wood star in my stash, and so I just put that into the top, and this tree is complete. Now I keep going up a little bit over because it has a flat top, and I don't want a flat top, I want it to have more of a point. So I'm able to glue the threads onto each other, the rope, and kind of give it more of a point. Now this leather from Dollar Tree, I am just going to cut out a simple triangle, stuff it, and have a tree. So I just folded it in half on the back side just in case I needed to draw, and by doing that I'll get both of my front and back pieces. Now if you don't have the leather from Dollar Tree, they have some little purses out right now that's made out of this kind of faux leather, and I picked one of those up and to cut it down because, I mean, and you'll actually probably get more leather out of it. So I'm just going to hot glue it on the 3 sides, and once I've done that, I will go ahead and stuff it with just some batting that I have, and I'm going to feed my little wooden dowel in just like this. I was having to film with one hand. I was having some issues. And then I'll close it back up with hot glue. And then I will just glue that dowel to a little wooden ornament. I lost that footage. I'm so sorry, but you'll see it at the end. Okay, so now this tree is something I had made last year and I didn't like it, so I took off what was there. And it's from Chocatour, but any little wood tree would work. So this is also from Hobby Lobby. It's just a really fun ribbon. I believe it's in the regular section. I don't think it was in the Christmas section. And I love the texture of it, and it has a little bit like a crystally look on it. I'm just going to Mod Podge it down to the tree, and it took me 3 little cuts, and that was it for this tree. And this is how I have them styled. And the little black and white tree there in the front, the little one was from the Target dollar spot. And I just think they look so cute together. I was really excited to see these 3D kits from Dollar Tree. This is how they come. So first I'm going to take one of these little crates from Dollar Tree, as well as that nativity scene from the last slide, and I'm going to paint it in Waverly Antique Wax. And then I'm going to take 7 of these domino pieces and paint them white. Once I have them all painted white, I take some of the antique wax and I just kind of distress the edge. And then with my Cricut, I added the numbers. You can use number stickers if you'd like to. Then I measured to get that hole right in the center, and I punched it out with my Crocodile. And then I'm going to go through all of the other ones and mark them so I get them all in the same spot. And I will also, like I said, I used my Crocodile. If you don't have one of these, what is so great about them is they punch like butter. So if you have like arthritis in your hands or anything like that, it's super easy to punch with. Like, I don't have super strong hands, so I love that tool. Okay, so now that I have my pieces all painted and my numbers all down, I'm going to find out where on my crate that I want to hang these. Once I measure where I want them to be, I'm going to hammer in 2 skinny nails that I also got from Dollar Tree. They come in these little kits. They have other little hanging pieces in there and other size nails as well. And now, originally I had planned on using the opening of the crate and putting those little wood blocks in it to count down, but my Dollar Trees were all out of the little blocks, and so I came up with this alternative, and I actually like it better. So I think it was easier. And there you go. Now that's the nativity all put together. You can just add it down with some wood glue, and that's it. And I think this turned out really good. I was excited to find the Snowman wreath form at Dollar Tree, and I had this loop-de-loops yarn in my stash, and so I'm not really sure where I got it. I think I got it at Joann's. And so I finally had a use for it. I will link it down below if I can find it for you. But any kind of, chenille type yarn will work. So I'm just going to start by just winding it around the wreath form. So no glue needed because I'm just going to wrap it around itself. I'm going to go all the way around both loops. And this is what it looks like when the yarn is all the way around both circles. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of this burlap, and I did get this at Joann's. It's a shimmery burlap. This has also been in my stash for a while because shimmer and burlap are kind of an odd combination, but it works perfect for a snowman. And it is the exact width. I mean, how lucky did I get with this? So I'm just going to wrap it around twice just so you make sure you can't see the black wire form underneath it, and then just hot glue it. And then I'll cut off a piece for the, the brim of the hat, the part that goes across. And I just fold it in, I guess I would say in fours. Well, you'll see here. I can't remember. I don't know how you would describe it, but I'm just going to basically make a long strip and then just glue that down. going to use the same burlap for the scarf, so I just kind of measure how I want it. I kind of don't go with the original plan, but the start works good. So again, I'm going to just make it to the thickness that I want and glue that down. Originally, I thought I would just, make it go from the back to the front, but really a scarf usually goes all the way around and then comes back into the front, and so I end up doing it that way. I simply went to my yard and found some twigs, and I'm just going to cut them down to the same length as these wire hands that you see here and just glue them down. Now sometimes hot glue and wire don't go together, but these seem to adhere just fine. So I will, again, just glue those down. And then next, it's just about embellishing the hat and the scarf, and this project's done. It was super quick and easy, and this is like one of my favorite wreaths, and sometimes less is more. You don't have to do a whole lot. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. You'll have to let me know down in the comments if you found this snowman wreath form. I wanted to make another one and went to my Dollar Tree and they didn't have them anymore, but I have a couple Dollar Trees. So I went to another one and they had like 20, so I was pretty excited. Okay, so I'm taking this pick that I got from Michael's. It was in their grab bag, so I think it turned out to be like 10 cents for this, which is great. But you can just get any greenery. And I'm just going to use the greenery. I thought I might use the pine cones, but then I decided not to. I'm just going to glue the greenery down, and my camera cut off, but I just took 2 of the wood snowflakes that you can find at Dollar Tree. I painted them white and I added them to the snowman, and that is it. Like I said, it was a really easy project, but I am in love with how it turned out. I know you've probably seen a lot of these beaded decor pieces, but this one was super chunky, so I wanted to recreate that. So I'm using 25mm beads that I got off Amazon, as well as these snowflake ornaments from Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to stack 4 of them on top of each other, because like I said, this is going to be a chunky piece. So I'll paint that snowflake with linen colored Rust-Oleum chalk paint. And then for the beads, I'm going to take some of my antique wax, pour it into this little container here, and then I'm going to roll the beads around. After I do that, get them nice and coated, then I'm going to rinse them off. Is there an easier way to do this? Maybe. Maybe stain them in coffee? But this worked well for me, and then I just went and I rinsed them under the faucet, and it came out good, and it didn't even stain my hands or anything like that. So that's what I do. And there you can see them at the top. They're not very dark. I probably could have left them in there longer, But I didn't know, I'd never tried this before, and so I didn't want them to be too dark. So that's what I did. Then I'm just going to take this snowflake and kind of rough it up a little bit. And I will string my beads and this snowflake, and that'll be done. It will be just this chunky little piece to add to my decor. I hope you enjoyed these projects today. I am really excited to decorate for Christmas this year because it will be all new decor pieces, and that's always kind of fun to have kind of a fresh start. I am going to actually insert a picture here at the end of some of the pieces that I picked up from Hobby Lobby that I'm just going to put into my decor. I don't have to do anything with them. This centerpiece from Joann's. You won't even believe how much I made this for. So obviously this is on sale for $60. Okay, first I start out with this palette sign I had in my stash that I didn't like. So I sanded it down and then I cut two sides off so that I just have these three pieces left. There's still a little blue showing from the old paint, but it's not going to matter. If it did, I would just kind of paint over it, but we're good. So I had a little bit more sawdust down, so I just took my little ladybug vacuum and went over it just to get the extra dust off. Then I'm going to take this floral foam from Dollar Tree. This is a full pack. I love when they cut it down for me. And I will go ahead and hot glue it down to my palette board. Now, here's why this isn't going to cost me very much money. Because first I used a sign that I had bought and I didn't like, and I've had it for years and years, keep saying I'm going to do it over. Well, also, here's a stem from Michaels. It retails for $20. I can't even imagine buying a stem for $20. So I pulled it all apart and I took out all of the red. Okay, and so now I'm left with just the greenery. So here's the kicker. I got a Michaels grab bag, and if you're not familiar with those, I do have a video of me getting one recently, and I will post that here. But 2 years ago after Christmas, I got my very first Michaels grab bag. I didn't even know it was a thing, but it is, and you get a huge box or a bag for $5. Actually, I think when I got this one, it was only $4. I think they were $5 this year, but back in 2020, they were only $4. And I got the most massive amount of floral stems. I want to say there was like $600 or something worth of floral stems in my my $4 grab bag, okay? So these stems are from that. I understand you guys probably won't find this exact deal, but you're just going to grab greenery, okay? So you can grab greenery anywhere. So many craft stores have greenery, and it's not that expensive, especially when you're just buying it as greenery. When you buy it as a big bundle, like you just saw at the beginning of the screen, then they're like, oh, it's Christmas, we can charge way more. But just grab some greenery, that's all you need. So I'm just going to start taking the like greenery, and again, you can see I have a big mix of greenery. And I'm just going to kind of put it all the way around and then a little bit going upwards. Then I'm going to take the next type of greenery and I'm just going to start placing that around as well. And I'm just going to keep going with all of the different greeneries. Okay, once I get these in and get it nice and full, and then I will add some pine cones. That's it. That's this DIY. It was so simple. Again, I think this probably cost me maybe a couple dollars. I'm going to say maybe $2 in the stems because it was in the grab bag, $1 for the floral, and then again, it was a palette sign that I hated and I was just keeping around to make over someday. So it didn't really cost me a whole lot. But I would say if you could find some greenery and some items, you could probably make this for around $10 to $15, which is much better than the $120 retail price it had and even the $50 sale price tag that it was coming with. And this thing looks spectacular in the middle of my table, and what I love about it is it's just kind of wintry. There's no colors, anything. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Christmassy, but it'll work for this time of year. Okay, so now you see that it's nice and full. And again, so I have these stems that already had pine cones on them, and I know Dollar Tree has these. So keep an eye out, they do have the pine cones on the stem. But if for some reason you can't find those, you could just hot glue your pine cones down. That's it. Now, I wanted to keep it like this and show you because this is the store dupe of me making it as much like the store as I could. But I decided that I thought if I used 3 of these little glass tall tea light holders from Dollar Tree and added them down into the middle, that I could also make it, you know, a lighted centerpiece. I can see them now. It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again. I really wanted to show this really simply, but make it look high-end. So it is chalkboard on one side, and then of course this wood on the other side. I will be using this wood side. I have the Snowflake from Dollar Tree, another little ornament here from Walmart, as well as some of this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It is so pretty. It's in their regular section. I got it half off, and it's this pretty velvet with like a frayed edge. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. And I also picked it up in gray. I believe they had other colors as well. Now I know a snowflake wouldn't be black, but I loved the way black popped. So I just took a black Sharpie and colored over my snowflake here, and as you can see, I just wrapped the ribbon right around like a scarf, glued everything down, and that's it. 3 little items, but I thought it made it look so high-end. What do you think about the black snowflake? I saw this piece on the Michaels website and I cannot believe how much it was, and I'm going to be able to recreate it. So I'm going to take this triangle piece and this 2 wood pieces, all from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cover them in steel paint from Waverly. Then I'm going to take this 3D kit here, also from Dollar Tree, and these are really neat. This is new to Dollar Tree this year, and I'm loving them. If you saw my Nativity video, I used one of these. So this is how they work. You kind of stick them up in the slats. I'm going to go ahead and push all those items aside, and I'm just going to use the trees here, and I will paint them with white chalk paint, as you see here. Okay, so now for my little deer characters. I want to make this look like wood. So I cut these out on my Cricut, and I cut 4 of them. So you can cut as many as you want. and I glued them all on top of each other. So there you can see that's 4 layers right there, and that's all I thought was necessary, but you could make it thicker if you wanted. And then I'm using my Barely Art Precision Glue. I showed you here how it's down. I just put a little glue all the way around, and then I glued each layer on top of each other. And I think this does look a lot like the little wood, like you would get kind of like those trees from Dollar Tree. Again, I found those images in Cricut Design Space. Okay, so now my 3 pieces are covered in the steel gray chalk paint. And now I'm going to start by putting the trees in. So I want these to go all the way flat against my triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and hold it up here, and I'm going to mark with a pencil where I need to cut. Okay, so because I'm going to want this to be flush to the back. So once I mark the spots, I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and run it across a couple times, and then that should, well, it did, make it fit perfectly inside that triangle. But now I got my eye set on you. Oh, I'm not gonna play it safe. It's going down on Christmas Day. 'Cause I'm trying to tell you in every way. Yeah, I'm trying to show you, but somehow felt I wanna have someone to hold. Walking through the falling snow. Oh, oh. I'm trying to tell you in every way, but now get done. I'm not gonna wait and right around the mistletoe. I'm gonna let my feelings show. Oh, oh. Always got you on my mind, but I know this time you're on top of my list. Only wish. And as we Okay, now that I have that pushed back to the background, I'm going to put the deer in the foreground by gluing it there to the top of the triangle. And I didn't even need adhesive on those trees because it is in there tight. So I will go ahead and just glue the deer onto the front. And then I'm going to glue my triangle there on top of this cube, and then the cube onto our bottom layer, and then this project's done. It's a very unique project. It's a very unique project, and I'm glad I came across it on Michael's website because I really enjoy it. It's just something really different, and it was really easy to make. It just took a couple things of paint and a couple things on my Cricut, and voila, a much cheaper version. So this cost me $4 in supplies, and then a little bit of cardstock there for my deer. So a much more affordable option. I'll be making plans, make you understand. I'm not gonna play it safe. It's going down on Christmas Day. I gathered all of my wood snowflakes from Dollar Tree. Yeah, the one in the package is from last year. There's these little tiny ones from this year. The very first ones I showed you are like a connected sign. Now these ones right here, I don't know where they're from. I just have them in my stash. They could be Dollar Tree, but I don't think so. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a canvas, and I'm going to do a reverse canvas. So if you haven't seen that before, what I do is I cut the canvas part off of the frame. And using my rotary tool, I found that it actually worked a little easier than an X-Acto knife, but then of course X-Acto knife will work too. The other way you can do this is by popping all the staples out. That will also get rid of it, but that's not necessary because this will be the back side. So once I get this torn off, and we will be reusing this, so don't get rid of it. because we're using it. We're just flipping it so that the inside frame will now become the outside frame. I also like the look of the cream. That's the back side of the canvas instead of the white, so that works really well too. Now, I got a little overzealous and I put the canvas back on before I painted the frame. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's okay because I taped it off and I was able to paint the frame. But you definitely want to paint the frame before this step. So now I'm putting it back on. Okay, so now you'll see that you've got the wood, because I flipped it over, so you have the nice side of the wood on the front of the canvas. So I'm flipping it over again, and I'm going to re-staple this onto what's now the back of the canvas. So I just use my staple gun there, and you just want to make sure that you pull everything taut, and then you're going to cut off the excess canvas. Because you have to remember, before the canvas was going around the wood, and this time it is not. So you will have some excess to cut off. I do end up painting the frame with moss colored Waverly chalk paint, and I paint them white, and I believe steel gray is the other color. So I'm just going to take the various sizes here, and I'm going to lay them out how I want, and I'm trying to make a snowflake shaped Christmas tree. So I just painted the snowflakes in the 3 colors. As you can see here, I had to tape it off in order to make the frame. And I don't know why my camera kind of tilted, so it kind of looks like this project's falling off the table, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think my camera stand lost a screw, and so it keeps tilting, so I apologize. So now I'm going to lay these back on, and then once I find that they're all in the right spots, I will just take my hot glue gun and glue them down, and then that's it. The last step was I just turned it over and put a sawtooth hanger on the back, and then this was ready to hang. How did I decide which colors? Well, basically I just painted each one of the big snowflakes each color, and then I just kind of kept going from there. So it's kind of fun having all the different sizes of the snowflakes. Again, I got all but like 2 of them from Dollar Tree, and I think this would work even without those. So that's it. I have them all laid out, hot glue them down, and this project is complete. I saw this sign at Hobby Lobby. I actually was going to treat myself to that sign, and I'm glad I didn't because it was expensive and I was able to recreate it. So I'm starting with this 18-inch round chalkboard sign that I got from Chalk Couture, but I did check at Hobby Lobby and they had a circle sign this size, and it just wasn't on sale, so I didn't grab it, and then I remembered I had this in my stash. So I've just taped off here, and I'm going to try to make this look like wood, and I think I succeeded. So I'm using Waverly chalk paint in hazelnut, and I'm going to give it 2 to 3 coats right here. So again, this sign I'm kind of doing it the opposite, where I feel like the Hobby Lobby one was probably wood and then they painted it black. So you can totally do that. Get a wood one, and you're just going to do the opposite. You're going to tape it off, and then you'll paint it black and leave the wood. And so I'm just going to rub a little bit of Waverly Antique Wax with my chip brush just to give it that wood grain look.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman out the reindeers are far.
And then I went to my Cricut and I cut out Merry Christmas. The Christmas font is Cream Candy and the Merry font is Aldine 721 BT.
Falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
Okay, now I'm just going to take this pick. This particular one is from Michael's. I got it in a grab bag like 2 years ago, and I think it costs about 20 cents, so it was a score. So I'm just peeling off some of the stems there. I don't want to use the red berries. I just want to keep this really neutral. And so I am just going to cut this down and adhere it down with hot glue. Before I do that, I do want to make the top of the ornament, and luckily Dollar Tree has come out now with these corrugated metal shapes. So I'm using this one. It's kind of an oval. They have stars and squares and like just all these really cool shapes now. And I was like, this is perfect to go as the top of my ornament. So I'm going to use partially E6000 as well as hot glue. I want this to be really sturdy. So this video you're going to see is, like I said, it's all Hobby Lobby inspired, but also it's going to have a certain theme, and that is what my theme is going to be this year, and that is black and white and wood and green. So that's my theme this year. I have done red buffalo check and buffalo check the last, and rustic the last 2 years. So this year I wanted to kind of just change it up a little, and I'm going to go more with the woodsy rustic theme. So I'm still going to have white and black buffalo check, but I will be getting rid of the reds and the red buffalo check. So I definitely need some new decor, and so I am in love with how all these projects turned out because they will be all in my new decor this year. So I'm going to go ahead and use this ribbon. This ribbon is my favorite. It comes out at Christmas. I've bought it the last 2 years because it works so good for farmhouse projects year round. It's definitely not Christmas. It works for Christmas, but it works year round. So I'm just going to make 2 loops here, and this is kind of like my cheater bow. I just make 2 loops, then I cut the tails, and then I just adhere them all together with a zip tie. So I put the smaller loop on top of the big loop. I decide how long I want my tails, and then I just double that. That's how I make my bow, cheater bow. This is kind of a hard thing to put a bow on because the greenery is kind of thick. The sample, the inspiration does not have a bow, but I wanted a bow. And that's why it's called an inspiration piece and not a dupe, because I'm not making it exactly the same. So once I get that bow down, this project's done, and it's a nice big statement piece. I absolutely love it, and I hope you like it too.
A Merry Christmas Day. We're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town.
So LTD Commodities is a company I absolutely love ordering from. I've been ordering from them for like 20 years. So I get the catalog, and I had pulled that out for some inspiration. I'm going to make a much smaller version. I do want to make a big version, but for now I just made this smaller version. So I took 3 of the square planks from Dollar Tree. I believe they come in a pack of 5 or 6. And then I took 2 of these, the rectangle ones that also come in like a pack of 5 or 6. So this one I'm just going to cut it in half. It is going to be a little bit skinnier Then the piece that you see at the top left, that one just already happened to be cut out from another project, so I'm just using it as is. It's a little long, so again, I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. So you saw me use my X-Acto knife. I had to do that more on the longer ones, but when it's a shorter piece like this, I just used my miter shears, which are a lot easier to use, a lot quicker. I'm not a very strong person, so if I can get it to cut down, I think you can too. Okay, so I went into my scrapbook stash and I tried to match the paper as best as I could. So that bottom one there looks type wood, and it looked like it had wood snowflakes, and so that first one there, I cut out the snowflakes on my Cricut, and I just add them down to that white paper, add the black paper down to the strips, and as you can see, that's what it looks like. And then I just made a little twine bow that I will add to the package. Okay, for the next present, again, just 2 pieces of paper that I thought looked a lot like that, and then I cut Christmas out in this font on my Cricut. Now for the third present, again, 2 more pieces of scrapbook paper and Mary in this font. Okay, so for the top bow, I copied the one as best as I could by doing 2 loops, so one smaller than the other, and then onto a tail. Then I'll just tie those all together with some of this jute. And then for the back, a little jute hanger. And as you can see, this is how the project came together. It was super simple. I just glued the packages together with my hot glue gun, and that is it. So of course this is a smaller version, but this cost around $3 to make. Okay, so I went on Google and I found the lyrics to Away in the Manger, and I'm also going to use one of these little houses from Dollar Tree. Now I printed this out on my printer, and I just used kind of a cream colored paper. It happens to be like resume paper, so any paper, if you only have white, you can always like distress it and make it a different color. I've seen people use like tea bags and things like that. So I'm just going to cut it out. I tried to get, you know, the majority of the lyrics on there so you could kind of tell what song it was, but I will be covering up some of it. Super simple project. I just take my glue stick and glue it down. And then I went to my Cricut and I searched up Nativity. I found a lot of different ones that I thought were really cute. I actually cut out 3 different ones because I wasn't sure which one I'd want, and I ended up thinking that this one looked best on the house. So I just sized it to be the size of the house here, and just place it down. This is so simple, and I liked the house shape. The reason I picked it was because I kind of felt like it looked like it was in, you know, the place that they were in when he was born. And then I'm just gonna go around with my chalk ink here in black and just kind of give it a little bit of a border. Now you could add like some paint sticks to the top so that it, you know, gave it kind of a barn shelter look. I think that would look good too. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa and I love to craft, and I'm so excited that you're here. You can really help my channel out by liking this video, commenting, subscribing, and even sharing on your social media. And I just really appreciate all of your support. Also, you can find me over on Instagram, where my name is $__mom. And my dog is going crazy on me right now. Anyhow, over there I share all my DIYs, hauls, how I decorate, and other fun mom and budget-friendly items. So I hope you'll join me over there. Again, these DIYs are so easy to recreate, And this one, I'm just going to take one of the houses from Dollar Tree. And then I just had, and I'm going to just take some of this buffalo check. I'm not, this is going to be the back side, but I just want to have it finished. I don't want pink on the back. I'm just going to take my folk art black chalk paint and cover that house. And then I just have this little wood house that I picked up somewhere along the way, and I'm going to cover that in Waverly Antique Wax. I have these bells also from Hobby Lobby, just got them this year, again 40% off. I need some twine, and I just happen to have that little snowflake. So what you're seeing here is I actually am adding a whole new little house that wasn't in the inspiration, but that I thought went well with this. So after my house is painted in black, I'm just taking a strip of the buffalo check paper and I'm just going to glue it around the house. Now you could use ribbon as well. I think maybe I would use ribbon now looking back. I just think it might give it a little higher end look, but this worked just well, just like the inspiration piece. Once I get that glued down, I'm going to take my twine and wrap it around several times and make a little twine bow.
Busy saying ho ho ho, we're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Merry Christmas Day. A Merry Christmas Day. Oh, yeah. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as we walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Yeah, a Merry Christmas Day. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas Day.
I'm going to take this sled from Dollar Tree and cover it in Antique Wax by Waverly. And then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum chalk paint and linen and I'm going to dry brush it onto the J and the Y here. Now I was pretty excited because I found them for 15 cents in the clearance section at Hobby Lobby, so make sure you check that out. In my store, it's the very back corner. So I was pretty impressed with myself that my J and Y match my snowflake perfectly. The snowflake was in my stash. I want to say it came in a kit that I got at the Target Dollar Spot last year. So all I'm going to do is just glue the J and the Y down and then add my snowflake. So they're a little big, but I actually like, you know, kind of the big chunky look of this. I was really excited to find the sleds this year at Dollar Tree. They had 3 different looks to the sleds, so that's fun. I'll have another 2 sleds to make. Because it had a hole in it, because the snowflake was like a hanging, like an ornament, I tied the tiniest little bow with my jute cord and put it over the hole. Now I'm using some ribbons that I got from Stampin' Up. I will try to link those below if they're still current. And I loved this like twisted cord with the green in it, and so it fit perfectly. I'm not even sure why there's little holes there, but it worked perfect because I could just thread this through. And then I'm going to take some of my other ribbons and make a little bow, and this ornament is complete. Now, I have never been into like really big ornaments, and so this year my tree was just boring, and I was like, it needs something. And so I put it out on Instagram, asked my followers, what does it need? And they all said big, chunky ornaments. And I took their advice, and it looks amazing. So I will I will show how my Christmas tree turned out at the end of this video. I'm going to take these skates from Dollar Tree and paint them up. I used moss Waverly for the main part of the skate. I used some, gosh, I don't know, it's like a hazelnut, I think, for the brown, and steel for the silver. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these ribbons. So this ribbon is really fun that I got at Hobby Lobby this year, $7.99, and I got it for half off. And it's a huge roll. It's going to last a really long time. Again, this is another ribbon. The white ribbon there, I think, is also from Hobby Lobby. No, Celebrate It is Michael's. So that was from Michael's. I got that on clearance. Same with the Snowflake ribbon. Okay, and so this sled, which I meant to show first, and I apologize, but the sled is from the Target Dollar Spot. This sled was $3, really good price. As you can see, I just crisscrossed that white ribbon over that fun, I don't even know what you would call that, kind of like a mesh ribbon. And then I just make a circle there with my snowflake because I don't want this to have big tails. I want it, you know, not to cover the skates. So I just glue the skates down, glue the bow on, which I put this gray trim ribbon around the center to finish it off, and that's it. Such a fast, easy makeover. I thought those skates were so high end from Dollar Tree, so this whole project was just a little over $4. I knew this project would be very easy. I picked up a sheet of paper here from Hobby Lobby. It's just like a handmade paper type, and it comes in 12 by 12. I didn't have a big enough frame in my stash, so I did rip it down to 8 by 8. I just printed off this Joy to the World off my Cricut, but you could just feed this paper right through your printer and just print it on there. So that would be way easy. If you don't have a Cricut, just feed the paper through, and you can get it on the paper. Ooh, I could not think of my words there. The font that I'm using is JMH typewriter, and I got that off defont.com. So again, you can print it right onto your paper. All I'm doing now is just using my glue stick and gluing it down to this. This particular frame is from Michael's, but I got it like 2 years ago. You can use any frame and just take out the backing to it, and that's it. So it's a very inexpensive project to make. That's it. Look how easy that is. I love it. It's going to go so well into my decor. Another really easy project, I just took one of these green tree ornaments from the Target Dollar Spot, as well as these 3 wood pieces that I got from, I think it's called Crafty Peeps, but I will link it below, but you could cut any kind of wood. And then this ornaments are $3.99 at Hobby Lobby, and I got them for 40% off, and I painted it white. I also sanded off the glitter on the side of the tree, and I painted it with the Waverly Antique Wax. Now on two of the trees, I just put some scrapbook paper. Both of those are from Hobby Lobby. One looks like metal, obviously the other one is buffalo check. I'm just going to take this scrap piece of wood, also covered with Waverly Antique Wax, and then just glue these trees on. Super easy, quick project. I know I went through that fast, but I know you know how to paint and Mod Podge, and that's all that I did here. And I just think it turned out really cute. As you can see, I changed it up a little bit from the inspiration piece at Hobby Lobby. It just so happened that that ornament fit perfect on the tree. I hadn't originally planned that, but I thought it added a lot to it.
Under the mistletoe, while Santa
I was really excited to find this metal mailbox for letters to Santa. It is functional, but I really only want it to be decorative. It was $5. I also heard that the slot is very sharp, so don't touch that. I guess it can really hurt you. So I saw Leah Knepp over at DIY Beauty on Purpose. She dressed up her letters to Santa box, and I was like, ooh, I've got to do that too. I'm going to link her video below where she did that. She had a different colored box, and I think you will get even more inspiration from her. So simply just tying a regular bow. I have two pieces of greenery here. They came from stems from Michael's, and I'm just going to glue them down, one on the side and one across the top. Now, metal and hot glue don't always go great together, but that's okay because I may want to change this up next year, and so I will just be able to pop it right off. I grabbed these ornaments from Walmart. They were $1.98 for 4. And then the little reindeer ornaments, I believe, are from the 99-cent store. They may be from Dollar General. No, they're from the 99-cent store. So I'm just going to take one of those reindeers and I'm going to glue it to this little Mary ornament, glue it down, add my bow, and voila, all done. And it really stepped up how this little mailbox works. And it really fits better in my decor now than it did just by itself. So again, go check out Leah Knepp's video for more inspiration on this project.
jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the Snowman is all around town.
I picked up 2 of these shutters from the Target Dollar Spot. They are $3 each. The problem is they both go the same way. So that Z is the same. You can't flip it upside down. So it really isn't going to work kind of as a twofer. So I had to figure out what to do with just one of these. I have this little, it says it's a candle ring from Dollar General, only $1. And I actually think I paid like 10 cents for it because I bought it on clearance last year. And then I have this ribbon up here from Michael's, and then an ornament from Dollar Tree. This is a quick, fast makeover, and I was really surprised how much I loved it when I was finished. It was kind of not that round, so I was just kind of making it a little bit rounder right there. I glue it to the top and the bottom there. I add this little ornament hanging down and a simple bow, and that's it. Project complete. These Dollar Spot items from Target are so easy to make over. You just add a few elements and it just takes it up quite a notch. So this project cost me, we'll say $5 to make. And I think it looks really high-end. It is something I would actually buy in a store, so I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh,
I also styled this with the Christmas tree shelf from Target, as well as that green tree lantern, and I think it just looks great all together. Don't forget to check the kids section at the dollar spot. There's usually some really fun paint your own projects. Look how cute these little wooden houses are, and I love that it had that tall one. Okay, so then I'm grabbing some of these Christmas trees from Dollar Tree. You get 3 tall ones and 3 short ones. So I love the variation of sizes. So I'm going to take my little, what I say looks like a cabin, and I'm going to paint the top with antique wax. I'm going to paint the main house with moss from Waverly. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to take my cloche here, which I should have showed you first, but this is the base of the cloche. So what I'm going to do is cut out a piece of cardboard, and everything is going to be on this, so I can take it in and out, and I can use the cloche for other seasons. Now, since the glass it comes in about a 1/2 inch, so I just made little 1/2 inch marks around, and I'm going to cut it smaller there. Okay, so this is a fun item, also from the Target dollar spot. It is faux snow, and you get a ton of this. So what you do is you take 1/4 teaspoon and you put that down into your bowl. No, I have that wrong. 1 teaspoon, and you put that down in your bowl, and you add 1/4 cup of water. That's it. I thought you might have to stir it, but you do not have to stir it. And the powder instantly becomes a powdery snow. So it's really neat. Look at how quick that just turned into snow. I just kind of shake it around. It's my first time trying and using it. It's a really, really fun thing to have. So, 1 teaspoon, you can make so much snow out of that one little jar. So what I'm going to do is, now that I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so now you see my little cabin here is painted, and I felt like if I'm going to use snow, then I'm going to have a little bit snow on the roof of my cabin. So I'm just going to take my sponge and sponge on white paint. This is just regular white acrylic paint that I sponge on. You can use chalk paint too. I just had quick access to this acrylic paint. Once I do that, I'm going to glue everything down to that little piece of cardboard. Now, don't do what I did. I have to make my mistakes here for you so you know what not to do. So don't put the snow down first. I thought it would look more natural if I put the snow down first and then glued the 2 trees in the cabin, but it won't stick to where the snow was. So I do end up kind of having to wipe off the snow and then reapply. No big deal. It was really easy fix. But I'm just taking regular old Elmer's glue and sprinkling the snow over the top here so I would have a snow base. But again, I'm going to have to kind of reassess here in a second. So while I'm doing this and while you're watching, so I saw this pretty close, and I hope I'm saying that right, at the Target dollar spot, and I want to say it was $5. It was $3 or $5, and I apologize that I don't remember. But I thought I really wanted something snowy, and I don't want us to be just a one-time use just at Christmas. So I was like, oh, I will just put whatever I make on top of a piece of cardboard. That way I can just pull it right out after Christmas, and then I can do something for Valentine's Day, or maybe just something kitchen-y that'll look in my kitchen, just anything really. So it's just a fun, see, there's where it fell off because you can't glue it to the snow. And because it was just Elmer's glue, I could just wipe it right off. No biggie. I'm just going to add more glue to it and more snow, and this is how it turned out, and a couple of different ways I styled it. It's kind of a hard thing to get a picture of because, it's that glass plastic, but I really think it turned out cute. I hope you enjoyed all of this Christmas inspiration. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because I have much more to come. Until next time, happy crafting!